What is up, everybody? We are live, and it's late at night, so that can only mean one thing. We're doing a little burbot fishing. We're fishing a little pout, and what you saw at the beginning there, we have a live well outside. There is, we're going to call it the pout cam. That is our live well right outside this Polar Fox house that I am fishing in. And look at this thing. This thing is amazing. We're fishing with Northern Minnesota Adventures Backwater Guide Service right now. Beautiful houses he's got out here. And we're just doing some burbot fishing. This burbot fishing is something that's really caught on the last few years. It's really becoming a thing. So we thought we'd come out here and give it a whirl. It's a late night thing. It just gets better and better as the night goes on here. So we'll do a little fishing, talk a little bit of burbot. So one thing I am going to do here is, if you want to do exactly what I'm doing, I am going to give away a one-night burbot fishing trip with Northern Minnesota Backwater Guide Service, Billy, during this live. So basically, all you need to do is throw a comment down on this live, and at the end, I'm going to give a burbot trip to one of you guys. So go ahead, throw your comments down there, and we'll give away some burbot fishing. Pull that burbot cam back up again. Ooh, there's a good picture. Yeah, look at the colors on these burbot. And, we're in central Minnesota right now, and these things are absolutely beautiful. The colors on these. So I'm from up by Lake of the Woods, and our burbot are not as pretty as the burbot down here. We also have the hummingbird going. We'll throw that up. This is some pretty luxurious fishing. These polar foxes are really something. So let's start this out. Let's talk about the location. So basically, these burbot, if I'm fishing central Minnesota, I am going to be looking for something kind of like this right here. So basically what we got here is, this is just a random lake I picked in Minnesota. This is your textbook burbot spot if you were in central Minnesota. So basically what we have here is we have a big shallow flat. You can see that in red. And then the orange there, you can see the steep drop adjacent to that deep water. So what's going to happen here is during the daylight, those burbot are going to be out deep on the deeper side of that drop. And then as to where we're fishing right now, we're kind of up on the top of that in about 20 feet of water right now. And this is where the burbot are after dark. So this is kind of a central Minnesota setup here. Steep breaks adjacent to deep water and flats. That is your textbook burbot spot. And then we'll take a look at this right here. This is Lake of the Woods. This is where I burbot fish mainly, Lake of the Woods. Talking about this, this is a reef. My favorite spots to target on Lake of the Woods are definitely reefs. And basically what I'm targeting is that rock mud transition, kind of more into the rock on the edge of these reefs in the deep water. So in Lake of the Woods, I'm going to be 25 to 30 feet right along the edge of these reefs in the deep water where the rock is. That is the textbook burbot spot on Lake of the Woods. Back to the burbot cam. All right, so basically, let's talk about baits for a second. Pull that hummingbird back up there for you. So basically, when we're talking about baits, my go-to for burbot, and this is a super, I'll reel it up here and just show it to you quick. This is a 7/8 ounce bomber slab spoon is what I'm using right now for these burbot. And I hope you can, I'll hold it close so you can see it there. That's what I'm using right now. And basically we just have a bunch of fathead minnows just balled up on there. What we do is we cut them in half just to get a little more scent in the water. But you don't need a bomber slab spoon or big heavy spoons like that. Basically, sound and glow is going to work. If I wasn't using a bomber slab spoon, what I'd be using is a Lindy rattling flyer. That's a great burbot spoon also. It's not as big and as heavy, and it's not going to stir up as much mud, but it will work. And, you know, everybody's got a Lindy flyer in their tackle box, so that's an excellent option when you're fishing burbot, especially that Technoglow color. That is key to burbot fishing. And if you don't have lures that have glow, you can get glow tape at Hobby Lobby, Cabela's. They'll have glow tape. Throw some glow tape on there, glow it up, and that helps substantially when fishing for burbots, the glow. So, what else we got here? So let me just show you So here we have the, if it wants to work for me. Just want to show you this. Yeah, I got a close-up shot here of this bomber. So here is, this is the bomber slab spoon right here. Not a lot of guys are probably familiar with that. And then of course right here we've got the Lindy flyer. Very, very good lure, both of those. It's really all about that glow and about that vibration in the water when these burbot come in. So like you can see right now, we're fishing in, what are we, about 21 feet of water. And the spot that we're fishing right now, it's kind of, we got 2 points that come and we're fishing in between them, up on top of it, because it's after dark, it's pretty late. Like I said before, guys, go ahead and comment on this, and I will be giving a burbot fishing trip away. You guys can come try this and see what you think of it. What do you guys got for questions? Go ahead and throw some questions down there, and I will answer them. What's the biggest burbot in the live well? That's a good question. We haven't got any super tankers yet. I'd have to go out there and measure them, but see him swimming around there. And that's something he does on these burbot trips, is he sets up these burbot live wells, and it's really cool, actually. Really cool to see. Yeah, I'm not sure what we haven't got, like I said, we haven't got any super tankers. We got a couple pretty nice ones in there right now. And they kind of come through in little flurries. It'll be quiet, and then suddenly we'll have some come through. What do you use to catch burbot? Yeah, so we're just putting as many fathead minnows as we can on these treble hooks. We're just balling them on there, and we do cut them when we put them on, just to get a little added scent in the water, basically. I see we got Brian Dahl and Josh Fowler commenting on there. All right, these are 2 previous winners, and I will pull this up right now. Brian went with Mark Bry's Guide Service in Devil's Lake, got on some perch, and then Josh also won a trip to Arneson's, and he got on some 40-inch pike up at Arneson's Rocky Point. Here's Josh and his son right here. Those are 2 of the previous winners. So thanks for watching again, guys. Sweet. Like I said, comments, go ahead and throw those comments. And then at the end of this, we don't have many guys commenting, so now I'm going to be giving away a burbot fishing trip at the end of this deal, and it is in this exact house. And this house is cozy, let me tell you. This is probably the nicest skid house I have ever fished in. What else you guys got? Yeah, burbot fishing is fun. It's cool because it's something, you know, you can go after work. They bite late into the night. They actually bite all night. So, I mean, you can go home, eat supper. You can come out. You can catch some burbot. It's kind of a new thing. And these, on my bucket list, a lot of guys are saying it's on their bucket list. Awesome. Burbot is a fish that is, you know, it's really gaining traction, and the guys that are into it they're super, super into it. I mean, it's kind of like musky guys, catfish guys, burbot guys. They're really into their species and into their sport, and it's super cool to watch these guys fish for them. Really is. And I think tonight we're gonna stay out here 1, 2 o'clock. See how many we can get into. So the Bomber Slab Spoon, the one I've got on this one right here, it does come in 2 sizes. It comes in a 7/8, and it also comes in a 1.25 ounce. When I'm fishing deeper, I would go with, if I was fishing probably 30, 35 feet or deeper or something like that, I'd probably go with a little bit heavier one. But since I'm only in 20 feet of water right now, I am using the 7/8 Bomber Slab Spoon right now. And like I said, these, you know, your walleye gear will work for burbot just fine. We catch them all the time on Lake of the Woods on walleye gear, so you don't have to go out and buy anything special. You can use your rattle and flyers. You can use your glow spoons. You can use pretty much anything. I've caught these on every lure under the sun on Lake of the Woods, so you don't need anything special to catch them. Would a rattle reel setup work? Yes, Brian. A rattle reel setup is super popular on Lake of the Woods. All the sleepers have rattle reel setups. We actually, the other guys aren't here right now, but they had some tip ups. They're actually tip upping burbot outside. You can use tip ups. You can catch them a variety of different ways, but yeah, for sure, rattle reels are a great way to do it. What depths do you target Lake of the Woods? And why is it less common to catch them in the summer? I can't answer the summer thing because I don't catch them in the summer either. I don't know what happens to the burbot in the summer, but on Lake of the Woods, I specifically target the edge of those reefs, 25 to 30 feet of water. 60-mile reef, 12-mile reef, Gull Rock Reef, all those different reefs out there. You guys know the reefs on Lake of the Woods. You want to be as far as you can go on that rock in the deep water, and that's where the burbot will be, and you will for sure catch burbot. And Lake of the Woods is known for some of the biggest burbot in the state. There is some phenomenal burbot fishing on Lake of the Woods. I would say the numbers on Lake of the Woods probably aren't as good as they are in central Minnesota, but they're bigger. They're monster burbot on Lake of the Woods. And actually, look at this burbot cam for a minute here. Look at the colors on these central Minnesota burbot. So these burbot have a really nice camouflage on the top of it, where our Lake of the Woods burbot, they're kind of darker and they're kind of more bland looking. They don't look like these burbot at all right here. These burbot are beautiful in central Minnesota. Love these burbot. Let's talk about eating burbot for a minute. I eat burbot. I'd say the number one tip to eating burbot is don't freeze the burbot. I feel like once you freeze the burbot, the quality of the meat goes down substantially. So I'm not going to freeze burbot. I'm going to always eat it fresh. If you cut it up properly into strips and deep fry it, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between burbot and walleye. It's so similar. It's a freshwater cod is what it is. So it's really good meat. My favorite recipe of all time, I have it right here, and it is the burbot wonton. So basically, take the burbot, boil it 50-50, 7-Up water mixture till it's fully cooked, throw it in a wonton wrapper, cream cheese, pinch of French onion soup, fry it up. That is my favorite burbot recipe, hands down, and that's how I normally cook it. There, that big burbot. He's posing for you right now. Look at that. I think it's worth coming on this guide trip just to see the burbot live well. That is so cool. I could actually look at that all day. Love it. And you'll probably see some guys throwing some burbot in there as we go here, because they're out just a little ways away from me fishing over there. Throw out some more questions, guys. What do you got? I'm going to give away a burbot trip to one of you guys. This is late, so there's not going to be a ton of people watching, so if you want to throw some comments on there, you got a pretty good chance of winning. I'm going to have Chris message me. He's going to pick a random winner. He'll throw up a message at the end here, and you'll be the winner. Once again, I'm rolling the Radcliffe custom rod. This is basically just a walleye setup. I think I got 8-pound braid on here, 8-pound fluoro leader. You wouldn't necessarily need a leader on here, but that's just what I happen to be running on this rod, because this is actually, I use this rod for Lake Winnipeg to rip glow streaks for big greenbacks. So it's a nice heavy stout rod for these big heavy spoons. I should keep my eye on that sonar too. I probably missed one. I've been watching. You kind of come through in little pods. Suddenly you'll have 2 or 3 of these burbot come through at once. Oh, there's some questions. What else you guys got? Yeah, Brock, this is awesome. This house is insane. LED lighting. The heaters whisper quiet. You don't even hear it. Radio, rod holders, windows all around, exterior lighting. This house is phenomenal. So this is a real special trip we're giving away today, guys. You're gonna enjoy this one. It's really awesome. Would you ever try catching burbot during the day? So yes, you can catch burbot during the day. During the spawn, the day bite is just a hair better, and if I'm gonna catch them during the day, I'm gonna be fishing deeper for them. I do think your odds greatly increase at night catching burbot for sure, but you can absolutely, yes, you can absolutely catch them during the day. And during the day, I'm probably going to do a little more hole hopping in that deep water. So basically this, go back to that, try to go back to that map I had up there. So for instance, this spot right here, so you can see the yellow drop there where it drops off into the deep. If I was burbot fishing during the day, what I would basically do is I would work the deep edge of that drop. I'd work right along that. I'd probably, 10, 15, 20 minutes at each spot, and I'd work all the way along that drop is what I would do during the day. And then at night, like we are right now, we would move up on top of that in the 15 to 20 feet of water. But yes, you can definitely target burbot during the day. Are burbot like crappies, or is it better to just wait them out? That is, that's preference there. My opinion is, during the day I would definitely be bouncing around, but at night, I do camp out a lot. Find a nice spot and just camp out on it like we're doing right now. And you will see eventually here, we'll get a pod of 3 or 4 of these burbot, and they'll come right through. And they're just little schools every half hour or so we get some through. And the timing, we may be a hair early right now. I expect the burbot bite only to get better into next week, and then the spawn will kick in and it'll slow down quite a bit. But the bite will, I would think probably the beginning of next week the bite's really going to be kicking off. It's going to be phenomenal. Any more questions, guys, before I give this away? Any questions about this Polar Fox house? This thing is insane. It's got LED lights built in the ceilings. It's got laminate wood floors. Super nice. Very nice setup. Ever try lipless cranks for them? You know what? I haven't tried lipless cranks for them, but we were actually just talking about that about an hour ago. I'm not against lipless cranks for burbot at all because they make a ton of noise, and especially, actually I have it sitting right here because I was debating it. So this glow streak, it's big, it's got some weight to it, and you put a glow stick in it so you have glow, and you got all those hooks that you can throw meat on, so you have a ton of scent on there. So actually, I'm probably going to throw this on a little bit later. I'm not against using a lipless crank at all for burbot. I actually think that it probably will work quite well. So I am, as the night goes on here, I am eventually going to throw that glow streak on. I'm just going to lay it on the bottom. That's another thing. The jigging cadence with these things is I am. Oops, I was on the wrong screen there to show you that. All right, let me show you that again. Glow streak right there. I think you all know what glow streaks are. Lurenet.com, you can go on there and check out the glow streaks. Anyway, the jigging cadence, what I'm doing is I'm stirring up the bottom. So basically, the reason for the heavy spoon is I'm pounding the mud on the bottom and stirring it up, and that attracts these burbot. So I'll just pound the mud a little bit, and then I'll just kind of float it. And there is 2 different kind of bites with these burbot. A lot of times they'll come in super aggressively and they'll chase it and hit it. But I have seen it where the bite is super lethargic, and you kind of got to hold it and let them come up slowly and then eat it. So you kind of got to read your electronics, like I always say, to see what kind of burbot bite you have going on. Pop that hummingbird up there again. Hopefully we can see one come through here. You want to see how that carbon perch handle? You know how I roll. Yeah, you're lucky I'm not using a carbon perch or a carbon gill trying to catch these burbots. Today I did bring the proper rods, so if we get a big one, I can definitely handle it, no problem. I'm known to forget the rods. Brian, that's a good question. What determines the burbot spawn? Is it just time of year? Yeah, I think the burbot spawn is more time dependent than water temp or runoff or whatever else they might say it is. I would, you're looking at, that second week of March in there somewhere. Normally, and yeah, that I would just, it's definitely time dependent. I wouldn't say, don't feel like there's any outside factors affecting the spawn. I feel like it's a pretty spot on timing deal generally, and it does vary from year to year a little bit, but that second week of March you get tons of burbot spawning. I'm using white, glow white. This weekend, I'm going to be sitting right where I'm sitting. I'm going to be sitting in that Travis. I am going to be at night. I'm going to be up in that, 20 feet of water. And then during the day, I'm going to be deeper in 30 feet of water. But at night, wherever that break comes up to, the break might come up to 15 feet. The break might come up to 20 feet. It really depends. You want to look for that sharp break adjacent to deep water is what you want. We have some 30, 40 foot stuff out here. And we're kind of, I would say what we're fishing is more like a saddle, and we're up on the saddle is what we are right now. Yeah, I'm not going to say a specific depth because you want to look for that sharp break, and you want to be either on the top or the bottom of that break, depending whether it's day or night. Night right now, we're on the top of the break. They're coming up to feed, and that's 20 feet of water where the top of this break happens to be. But you might have a break that comes up to 15. You might have a break that comes up to 10. So wherever the very top, wherever it starts leveling out at the top of that break is where I am fishing for these things. Any tips on Winnie? I would say, Winnie, bad medicine, leech. I'd say it all holds true unless you're on Lake of the Woods. Same thing with the breaks. If you're on Lake of the Woods, if you want to catch a giant burbot right now, Lake of the Woods, it's a good time to do it. Like I said, on the edge of those reefs in the deep water. It's phenomenal. So let me tell you why the Gatorade bottle is holding up that camera right now. It's because I saw how cool this was. So I brought the tripod outside and I rigged up this thing on the Gatorade bottle to show you the hummingbird. That's why we have that going right now. You can't do this without a Burbot on that live well. That's for sure. Wayne, you chop minnows up for chum? Or you scent? No, I don't. I do not do that. I do know that I have talked to a couple guys, and they're using. I know Yum makes some different scents that you can spray on there, and there are guys using some different types of scents and scent gels on their on their baits they're putting down there. But right now, I mean, I got like 4 or 5 chopped up fathead minnows on this treble right now is how I'm doing it. All right, guys, throw some more comments down. Somebody is going to come fishing with Billy in this Polar Fox fish house. You're going to love it. I believe we're doing, it's either a 6 or an 8 hour trip. So you start at dark and you go till, midnight, 2 in the morning or something like that. This thing's cozy. You don't need your bibs. You don't need your boots. You don't need anything. It is luxurious, let me tell you. Super nice. Yeah, Brock, this is a skid house. It definitely is. It's 8. This one is 8 by 10, I believe you said. Looking to get to Upper Red Lake this year with some friends. Go early. Go early, Tony. Go early. Go to Red early. So Red Lake is super good. So Red Lake's super shallow, so it gets ice really quick. Usually around actually Thanksgiving, give or take, is when a lot of guys get on Red Lake. So definitely get out to Red Lake early. I would say, I don't know, Red Lake starts to slow down, middle of January. So you definitely wanna fish Red Lake early. And Tony, if you're going to Red Lake, First City Guide Service, buddy of mine, Chaz, that is the guy you want to call. He rents ice castles out there. He does a phenomenal job. He's always on the fish. So give Chaz a call, or Justin Berg with Up North Fish House Rentals. He is always on the fish too. So either Chaz or Justin. So Up North Fish House Rentals or First City Guide Service, either one of those. Travis, that is for sure who I would call on Red Lake, because they will put you on the fish and they have really nice houses. Yeah, first week in December. That's perfect, Tony. Go there in first week of December. You'll do good. First week of December is good because they should have enough ice by then on red so that they actually have the wheelhouses out there. If you were to go super early around Thanksgiving, you'd have to walk out or take a wheeler or whatever, because they probably wouldn't have the wheelhouses out on red quite yet. Chaz Dubias, Tony. First City Guide Service. Brock, no, I do not fish burbot all year round. I only fish burbot beginning of March. That's about the only time I fish burbot. I fish it right before the spawn. Do a trip or two. I like fishing on Lake of the Woods, like I said, because they're just giant. And that's about the only time I fish burbot. All winter? No, I don't target them all winter. I just target them this time of year because they really start biting and they really start congregating this time of year. Any more questions, guys? Should I wrap it up? What should we do here? Give me some questions. What do you want to know about burbot? I should have took a video of him making that burbot live well. That's quite the process. It's funny, we may have had a group win and I wasn't even paying attention, but it seems to me about every, I don't know, 30 minutes, get a good group of burbot through here. Any more questions, guys, or should we wrap it up and see who wins? Oop. So like I said, this trip we're giving away is who I'm fishing with right now, Billy. He's a burbot junkie, knows what he's doing. Check out his Facebook page. Tons of burbot pics on there. He really gets them. Northern Minnesota Backwater Adventure Guide Service is who this trip is going to be with. And whoever wins, I'll send you the info. You give Billy a call. It'll be good for next year too. I realize most guys aren't going to run out burbot fishing next week on a guided trip, so I'll talk to Billy and we'll make it good for next year also. Mike, yeah, pounding the bottom with this bomber slab spoon, Mike, is what I'm doing. I'm stirring it up down there, trying to call these burbot in. It's funny too tonight. They usually come in creeping the bottom, but I've had quite a few of them come in higher than usual in the water column. Another trick is especially with these treble hooks. I wonder if I lost on. No, I still got some ball of minnows on there, but a lot of times with these treble hooks, when you're jigging like that, you'll lose a lot of minnows. So during the summer when my plastics get all ripped up, what I'll do a lot of times is I'll just save a little baggie full of them. And what you can do is you can cut the plastics, just cut them into little chunks, and you can put them on that treble hook after you put the minnow on there. And that will triple the life of your minnows staying on your hook. They don't fall off nearly as easy if you have that little chunk of plastic on the end of the hook. That's actually a really good hack. They do make these, I don't even know what they're called. I think they're called bait buttons. You can get those too. I've never used those before. I just use a little chunk of one of my old plastics that got destroyed by a bass or something, or a walleye. And I just cut them up and put them on there if I have trouble with it staying on. I'm not jigging as aggressively today as I usually do. I'm usually really stirring up that bottom. All right, guys, I think I'm going to cut her off here. I'm going to get Chris to message me the winner. So, Chris, let's cut her off, man. And if you want to... oh, got another comment there. Hang on. Burbot, Josh. Josh, I wish I could have came and fished with you, man, but we're trying to locate these burbot. Any more questions from anybody? You got any more? Throw them up there. We're going to give this baby away any second now as soon as Chris messages me. You ever fish blindly bite into the dust cloud when working burbot hard? Yeah, I do. I'll drop that bait right into the dust cloud. You know, these burbot can't really see very well, so they're kind of relying on their senses to find this. So you basically just put that thing on the bottom and just kind of twitch it a little bit, and they'll come right in. You'll see them circle and bump it, and then they'll hit it. Any more questions? All right, let's wait for Chris to message me here, and we will give away that trip. I was really hoping to hook into a nice burbot. Let's go to the burbot cam again. Why wouldn't we do that? Just hanging out. All right, and we have a winner. So the winner of tonight's giveaway, the fishing trip with Northern Minnesota Backwater Adventure Guide Service, is Travis Eastman. Travis Eastman, if you, I just want to make sure that I see you on here, Travis. Yeah, there you are, Travis Eastman. So there you go, Travis. You are going to come fishing with Billy. After I'm done here, Travis, I'll message you. I'll get you the info. You just get a hold of Billy. He'll hook you up. Yeah, come on here and catch some burbot. It is super fun, and this house is super nice. How many people does this sleeper fit? It's only got this one bed in it, but you could put a cot right there, so you could definitely fit. You could sleep two guys in this pretty easily, very easily actually. You would just need to bring an air mattress or a cot for that side because there's a ton of room over there. I believe it must be 8 by 10. I think is what he said it was. So, and I mean, not only is it nice, but he keeps it clean. This thing is really clean. Does a really nice job. All right, Travis, congratulations. And that concludes this live. Thanks, guys, for watching. Sorry it's so late, but that's the nature of burbot fishing. If you're going out, stay late. These things bite all night. So that being said, get out on the ice, guys. Some of the best fishing is still yet to come this spring. Not only burbot, panfish, pike, Lake of the Woods pike is going. There's a lot of good bites going on right now. So yeah, you're welcome, Travis. Have fun with Billy out here. Some of the best bites. Is that a fish down there? Some of the best bites yet to come on the ice. And the ice conditions are great right now. I haven't seen any slush anywhere. Not saying there isn't, but it's been great. We do have some snow coming in this weekend, which might make travel a little bit tougher. But from what I've seen, it's easy to get around. I drove my truck out here. My truck is sitting right outside this house. No problem driving the truck out here on this specific lake whatsoever. So, all right, I'm going to sign off here, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.